Let's delve into the terrifying past of a Canadian location that is said to be haunted and has very weird occurrences that happen there, and will make you never want to go anywhere near the place at all. Whether these stories are true or they're just an urban legend, you just wouldn't go there to find out. People are literally losing their heads in this place, and the victims' heads were never found again. This is the creepy stories of the Nahanni Valley, aka the Valley of the Headless Men. Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, I am a horror artist and I like to draw what I talk about in the videos. Now, nothing in the videos are meant to be insensitive to the victims or the victims' families, but if you are a sensitive person, I probably recommend not watching anything on my channel because it could upset some people, especially my drawings. I'll be accountable for my drawings. Now, I do my research and I try to bring you the most accurate information that I find. I look at a lot of sources and a lot of consistent information that I do find. That's what I will put into these videos. So if there is anything that you feel is not right, or I've missed anything out or anything like that, let me know in the comments section below. But I do my best to bring you what I know about these cases and what I have researched. Now, if you are interested in any of the art in any of my videos, I do have them on my Redbubble store. I'm trying to get them uploaded. I have said in previous videos, I'm pretty hopeless in that respect. I'm trying my best to get to them, to put them up. Links are in the description down below if you want to access any of my social medias or any of those sites. With that being said, let's get on with the video and let's get on with the drawing. And I need to get out of this room because it is 1,000 degrees here at the moment and I am suffering and I'm sweating.
The Nahanni Valley is located in the Northwestern Territories of Canada and is 30,000 square kilometers in size. It's very, very remote, but apparently very, very beautiful and scenic, with beautiful rivers and lots of canyons. So imagine a place that is cold at the top, has lush green riverbeds at the middle of it and on the ground level, and then has hot springs at the bottom with eerie mists. It's apparently one of the last properly unexplored national parks, over 500 kilometers from Yellowknife, the nearest city. It is challenging to get to because its rugged terrain, extreme weather and predators make it very volatile. So if you really want to go there, it's best to go there via plane or via the river on a boat, but it is not for the inexperienced traveler. Predators that roam in there are grizzlies and timber wolves, but there is also another unknown predator that does not kill its prey the way a grizzly or wolf does, and over the decades, people who decided to venture into this wilderness have gone missing, never to be seen again, or turned up dead and have had their heads decapitated, and their heads have never been found at all. These unusual circumstances have given this valley the name, the Valley of the Headless Men. The Nahanni Valley was home to the Dean indigenous tribe and the Naha tribe. They were enemies, and the Deans feared the Naha tribe as they were cannibals, and they would reside in the high mountains and come down into the low-lying lands to kill. But the stories from the Dean have passed down from generation to generation to tell of the Naha tribe just completely disappearing altogether and have never been found. The killings and the raids they would do on the Dean tribes just stopped abruptly one day. Did they just die out quickly? Or did they succumb to a hidden death trap in the area? Or did they migrate to a location called 200 Mile Gorge? The Dean tribe talk about the pure evil that dwells there, and this is where the gruesome events happened, giving it the name the Valley of the Headless Men. The name was given to the area in the beginning of the 1900s when the famous Klondike gold rush was happening. At this time, a lot of prospectors travelled into the remote wilderness to try their luck at finding gold. Most stuck to the rivers and soils in the Yukon, but 2 prospectors decided to not stick to the traditional areas to pan for gold, but ventured into the Nahanni Valley. They were 2 brothers named Willie and Frank McLeod. In 1906, the 2 canoed up the river to get to the valley, and this was the last time anyone saw them alive. 2 years later, in 1908, a search party involving their other brother found their camp and found the 2 men laying down and appeared to be sleeping when they were attacked. One of the brothers had been reaching for his gun, so he knew of the threat moments before it happened. Both brothers were missing their heads that were never found. Theories started to float around for years that other competing prospectors did it, or it was the warrior tribe, the Naha tribe, that killed them, taking their heads and leaving their bodies as a warning to others not to trespass. These theories went on until 1917, when another body was found. Swiss prospector Martin Jorgensen was found beside a burnt-down cabin that he had built himself and was missing his head. Apparently, he had struck gold as well. His head, too, was never found. In 1922, a World War I vet named John O'Brien was found dead near Deadman Valley without his head. He was going to light a campfire as he had matches in his hands before his head was lopped off. It too was never found either. In 1927, another body was found of a man named the Yukon Fisherman, and he was apparently a wanted man. His body, or skeletal remains I should say, were found on the bank of the Bennett Creek, very close to where the McLeod brothers were found in 1908. His death was apparently kept under wraps, and it wasn't fully known if he had gold on him either, so this was again just another incident of someone turning up dead in this area. He too was missing his head as well, like the previous victims. Then, fast forward a few more years later, and a man named Phil Powers' body was found charred in his cabin in the Nahanni Valley. Authorities thought it was a stovepipe to blame, but people speculated that he was murdered and his cabin was set alight to hide the evidence, as the stovepipe was debunked by several people. Not only have people been found dead here, but people have also gone into the Nahanni Valley and vanished, never to be seen again. In 1926, a woman named Annie Lefert disappeared in the valley. She was hunting with her friends when she got lost and completely vanished. Months later, an Indian man named Big Charlie made a claim that he saw a woman naked climbing up a hill like she had lost her mind. In 1928, a man named Angus Hall, another prospector looking for gold, vanished in the valley after he walked out in front of his friends, who were other prospectors as well, and he was never seen again. In 1936, 2 more prospectors named Joe Mulholland and Bill Epier disappeared, and for several years people went out searching for them and never found them, but their cabin was found burnt down. In 1945, a man named Ernest Savard was found dead in the valley in his sleeping bag, and he too was missing his head, and his head was never found. All up, 44 people have died or disappeared in this valley, which is an enormous number for a valley, and this is apparently why the Dean tribe will not go anywhere near the valley, as they state it is haunted by pure evil. In 1946, a miner named John Patterson vanished without a trace. Around this time, witnesses said that they reported seeing creepy and mysterious beings in the valley. In 1976, the Nahanni Valley was declared a national park, even though it's hard to access. There's no accommodation, and it's very desolate. But like many national parks and forests around the world, it has claimed lives. Just ask family members of the missing 411. The only way you can go to the park these days is if you have a permit, so the park rangers know who you are, where you are, and you must sign out when you leave. Sections of the park have been closed due to the amounts of deaths, and people believe that the authorities know what is going on in the park and who is doing the killings. These days, the area reports very few incidents due to people not wanting or allowed to go into the valley, but it still does happen in modern times. A man named Frederick Harsety and David Horsey died near Nahanni Valley at Fort Simpson on the 16th of June 2005. These two men were reported missing by their friend Rob Gunderson, who turned up at the cabin to join them and didn't find any trace of the men, and the cabin was allegedly riddled with bullets. They had also left behind their guns as well. On the 18th of June, authorities searched the location, but they quickly stopped the search, leaving family and friends to continue. They found David's body 3.7 kilometers from the cabin 2 weeks later with burns on his hands and arms, and Frederick was found in a river 2 more weeks after David. All areas had been searched prior several times. Authorities said that David died of hypothermia and Frederick had drowned, but they were experienced bushmen. It didn't make sense unless they were running for their lives from something. There are some theories about what might be killing people out in the valley. One theory is that it could be a bear dog. Apparently, prehistoric animal remains have been found there, one being the mammoth and the other one being the bear dog I just mentioned. People speculate that the bear dog still exists and lives deep within the uncharted parts of the valley. The second theory is what I had mentioned before, with the Naha tribe disappearing and going into the valley to protect it, and they are the ones doing the killings. Or the third theory, you guessed it, it's supernatural in origin. There is apparently a long extinct species called a wahila, which is now classed as a cryptid and was a shapeshifter. It mainly resembles a bear/wolf, but could turn into a man, and it ripped the heads off of people, according to the Dean tribe. Or could it just be as simple as feuding prospectors or prospector that lived out there and was stealing gold off of people by killing them and decapitating them and maybe keeping their heads for trophies? So, what do you think happened to these people? Do you think that it was the Naha tribe that just disappeared one day only to relocate to another location and start slaughtering people there? Or do you think that it was animals, like a prehistoric bear wolf? Or do you think that it's evil spirits and supernatural forces that run the valley and take lives when they see fit? Let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below on what you think happened to these people. I'd be very interested to know what your theories are, and if you know of any other information or anything else that was found out in the Nahanni Valley, put it in the comments below, because I want to know as much as I can about this particular case. Now, the illustration that I decided to do for this video today is of a sort of a creature that resembles like a very evil tribes sort of person, and it has got a collection of heads. It's got one hanging from its cloth skirt type thing, and it's got 2 more heads in his hands, and he's sort of admiring them and like, yep, these are my trophies, because this particular creature just likes to take lives. Just, the first thing that popped into my head when I thought of something to do for these stories. But that is it from me. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Dislike it, I could care less, because it all goes towards the algorithm to push me up for other people to find this kind of content if they like it. And hopefully stick around and watch what is left of the video and see how the illustration turned out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.